Hello and welcome to Were You Not Entertained, where two film fans discuss their favorite flicks. I'm Daniel.
And I'm James.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me make it this time.
Yeah. You made it awkward again.
And today we are going to be discussing episode 5 of The Witcher
Yep.
in our TV series.
Getting near the end.
Yeah.
There's not that many episodes. There's only 8 in this season.
Yeah.
So we're already halfway there.
We are, yeah. It is coming to an end. But we have other series that we're talking about doing, so this will not stop then.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions or things you'd like us to watch, feel free to hit us up online, and we'd love to hear your comments, and maybe we'll take you up on that offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this one,
Yeah.
we got another introduction to a new kind of inhabitant of the world of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Dopplers.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Dopplers are the shapeshifters who
Skin changes.
Yes, they look like other people.
Very vindictive one.
Yeah, Dopplers are treated very poorly in the world of The Witcher. They're often killed when they're found, and they're mistrusted no matter what. So,
Fair. I wouldn't trust this dude.
well,
Or
it's
whatever it is.
right, but it's also one of those things that it's a chicken or the egg situation.
Right.
Is he
that way
because
he was born that
the
way,
entire
or-
world treats him like garbage and like an evil person, so why not do the evil things? Or is he just an asshole? And so the thing about Dopplers that is really easy to recognize them is they always speak in third person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll refer to themselves as we or us.
Yeah.
And so things like that, like third person plural.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it's just something they do. I don't know, but it's one way that you can easily distinguish them in the movie, or in the TV show, or the video games. But they do play a pretty good role in at least The Witcher 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's some side quests and stuff dealing
Sure.
with Dopplers.
Yeah. Well, this one's mean.
Right, but you get to see some, not everything is as it seems in this world.
No.
Yeah, and this one is kind of a jerk.
Yeah, and we found out that Mousak is not dead, as I had kind of assumed he was.
Right. When he got split up from Ciri leaving the castle.
Like he was going to protect her and like keep the people from coming after her, and he just kind of disappeared.
Right.
They did not kill him. They apparently gave him a poison that took his magic away.
Yeah.
And then sicked the Doppler on him.
Yeah.
Who, does he have to, chase people? Is that why he made him run away?
No, he was just an asshole. He was having fun with them.
Okay, well, run away. He made it 15 feet.
Yeah, and it's, from what I understand, Dopplers don't really want the person that they've turned into to still be alive.
I think that makes sense.
Because it complicates their job a lot if they're trying to
absolutely.
pretend to be somebody. You also find out here that when a Doppler takes over somebody's look, they also invade their mind.
Yeah, he had to stare into his eyes and gleam his thoughts or something.
It's almost like mind melding or something, like from Dr. Spock. Like he understands all of his memories and his thoughts and his history, so he can accurately pull off the ruse.
Right.
But that also, I mean, how crazy do you become if you've done that to 12 different people and you have
Or
the entire
50
the entire lives of different people in your memory like that? So
that's probably why they say us or we.
right, because they
They
have
don't really know who they are anymore.
or what was the original them?
Right.
And so they're complicated, man.
Yes. Yes, they are. And he finished off Mousak with a knife in the chest,
Yep.
very slowly. Not like a whack 'em. He
Slow
very
stab.
slowly.
Yeah. Kind of a jerk, man.
He is a jerk.
Yeah. But we also get an entirely another storyline with this, which is the whole Jin story.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so this is kind of where Geralt and Yennefer meet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Real quick, do you know what a Jin is?
it's a genie.
Okay, yeah, that's where the term genie comes from, is from Jin. It's Middle Eastern.
It's a very evil genie, apparently.
Middle Eastern genies are, kind of in the movie Aladdin, the
Yes.
animated one. You know how the genie pops out as like this great and powerful genie?
Yeah.
Both the true meaning of the word awesome, both terrifying and amazing at the same time.
Right.
That is kind of how genies are more portrayed in the history I've seen than the Robin Williams version.
What? They're not funny?
Yeah, and I mean, in this, he talks about, she says genies or jinns are evil, and he's, if you've been locked up in a bottle for 1,000 years, you'd be pretty angry too.
Right.
And so there is this kind of thing that genies aren't necessarily good or evil. Jinns aren't necessarily good or evil, but they have a dark side, and you do need to be careful what you wish for,
was
as
about
you
to
say
say,
in this one.
You got to be careful how you wish. Yeah. Well, and that's kind of where we find Geralt looking like he's fishing
Right.
on the bays of a river. But he's actually looking for a genie because he can't sleep.
Right.
The man can't sleep and needs something magical.
Which I wasn't quite sure about. I didn't know whether that means that he's having trouble sleeping, and so he's looking for a djinn, which seems unreasonable to me. What I think actually was happening is that because of his magic adjacency, his ability to tap into the other side with the mutagens, that being so close to the djinn kept him from sleeping because he could hear the djinn or something like that, and it was preventing him from sleeping because he was the only thing nearby that could catch it.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's what I was kind of implying, but they don't actually outright say that in this.
No, they don't, but that makes sense as to how he knew where to look for it and actually find it.
Right.
Because he did find it.
Yeah.
He threw a net into a river and out comes a bottle.
Right, because if he just had insomnia, you don't just walk. It's not like every river in this area has a djinn just sitting in a
Right.
bottle in the bottom.
Fair enough.
There'd be a lot more crazy crap going on if that was the case.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
That is saying something.
But this is a pivotal episode to the entirety of The Witcher, because this is the real introduction between Yennefer and Geralt and the merging of the two timelines, like officially.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So not only pivotal in the story of the television season because of the merging of the timelines, but I mean, Geralt and Yennefer have a storied past in the books and the games.
Right.
And so to actually finally put them in the same room together was really awesome to see.
It's gonna carry on. Well, yeah, and so Geralt finds the djinn, and they open the bottle accidentally.
Yeah.
Him and Jaskier,
Dandelion.
Dandelion,
Yeah.
kind of arguing over it.
Yeah.
Like he's got no time for his shit, right? Geralt is just like, I'm tired, don't bother me, I don't want to hear any of this, and he's just like, yeah, we're friends, whatever, dude.
Right. No, he won't say the words.
No, he won't.
Yeah.
He will not.
In fact, he says we're not friends.
Yes, he does. He proves otherwise many times, but
Oh, and then he's like, oh, so you just let people who aren't your friends hang out with you for 10 years?
yeah, exactly. So it's been 10 years since they've met too.
Right. Which is, I mean, we know from last episode, 30-year jump from Yennefer's story. So
but we have no idea who's where. It's like, what?
Right, but also we hear some of the people, we've started to experience some of the people knowing the songs about The Witcher, which means that
Right.
Dandelion stories have spread throughout the land, because this isn't like they have the radio. You only hear these through bards playing them in the taverns, and Dandelion propagating the stories of Geralt means you might have some copied bards, bards that sing the same songs,
Right.
but it takes a while for them to pick up on those songs and to start propagating them out, and so it would be years down the road for that kind of fame to have spread out.
Right. And it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happens is basically one of Geralt's wishes gets used accidentally, and
he doesn't know that he's the wisher.
No,
He thinks
doesn't.
Dandelion actually opened it.
Right, exactly. But he asked for 2 wishes, and neither of those came true.
Right.
Instead, his throat swole shut, and he starts bleeding and hacking up.
Because Geralt wanted him to shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we're talking about, being careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly.
And so very much this episode is almost kind of like a race to get the
Cautionary
thing.
tale.
No, it has that kind of Mission Impossible feel to it. Because he's rushing to get his friend saved, and so he's looking for a magic user powerful enough to get rid of the curse.
Right.
And so it's got this kind of hurried feel to it that
Yes.
some of the other episodes haven't had.
No, very true. So he goes, and that's how he ends up. So basically, Yennefer went into this town to make some money,
Yeah.
and so she's doing magic, and there were some I don't know what they are, like towns, like the guards or whatever of the town, like they're not like, he's not like a mayor or anything. I don't know what the guy is.
Oh, yeah, I think he is kind of
Is he the mayor?
Yeah, he's like the lord of the local castle.
Okay.
He's not a king, but he's the guy who, it's kind of feudal system.
Gotcha.
So you have the lord of the castle, and I don't remember what they call him, he's like a prefect or something like that.
Gotcha.
But he's basically the lord of this area. And
Well,
so,
he screwed up when he walked in and said, "You can't do that here. You owe money."
yeah.
And she was like, "I'm not giving you a cent."
Yeah,
so He's
exactly.
going to try to lock her up. Well, turns out she's like taking over dude's castle.
Yeah, having giant orgies.
There's a giant orgy going on.
Yeah, just completely bamboozled this entire town.
Yeah, exactly.
And have them under her magical ways.
Exactly. So Geralt has to take Yaska. I like calling him Jasker. It's a lot easier to say.
Yeah, you also don't like calling him
I
Dandelion.
don't. Yeah, whatever. Fine, Dandelion.
It's what he's more commonly known as.
Well, not in the series. Maybe in the other stuff.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so he has to take him into the castle to ask Yennefer for help. And so she does. She ends up helping him,
Yeah.
which is cool. But there's
And we say
kinda-
castle, it's more of a manor. It's not, there's not really like a wall or moat around it. And,
No, it's not. Yeah, okay. It's not like a keep or anything.
right,
It's just
there's no defensive fortress there. It's a big ass house.
It's a multi-story rock home.
Right.
And so she helps, and it's kind of weird because, like, she says, your conversation was payment enough. And you're like, what? That's not right.
Yeah, no, I mean, at first she kind of, I think, agrees. She's interested because of Geralt's reputation, but then once she finds out about the djinn, you start to see her motives slowly diverge.
Right. Exactly.
And so, her quest for power has been pretty clear, her entire story arc. And so it's
She-
not shocking that she would be interested in the djinn, and her looking to restore her capability to give birth
Right.
has been an ongoing thing. And something
Yeah,
as
from the
powerful-
last one with the baby dying, she's
Right.
kind of carrying that with her and wanting a child of her own now.
Right. And they talked, her teacher comes and talks to her about that as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of shows what her motivations for maybe getting involved with this stem from.
Yeah. So she decides to become the vessel for the djinn
Right.
because his home is broken.
Right.
But she thinks that Dandelion has the wishes
Right.
and has only got one left. But it turns out it's Geralt, and he's only made one wish. And then she casts some sort of spell on him and makes him go out into the town and like embarrass some people, basically, is what happened.
Right.
He didn't kill anybody or anything like that, but
He's beating up nobles and important people.
he publicly shamed these people of power in
Right.
this town.
They're not happy about it.
No. So he gets locked up, and the guy is beating on him, and he says, I wish you'd just blow up or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yep. So he's like, oh, damn, I have the wishes.
yeah, exactly. So that's how he figures it out. And so he's going back to the castle to get Dandelion and her, I guess, kind of talk to her.
Yeah.
Be like, what the hell is your problem? Why are you...
You're going to get yourself killed.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's concerned that she's going to get herself hurt.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a lot of tension between the two of them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he ends up going up there, and she's being, you know, she's pulling, I guess, the djinn inside of her, trying to contain it, and is having a rough go of it. But we've seen Yennefer be pretty tough before, so I'm not sure whether she would have pulled it off or not. There's a good chance she would have died.
Yeah.
But
I'm thinking she was headed to dead.
Yeah. Also, she wasn't supposed to be able to deal with the transformation into a mage without
Drugs.
the drugs, and she does it, you know, totally without anesthetic of any kind.
Yeah.
So she's tough as nails, man.
But she's trying to do this, and there's still a wish left, and she doesn't really realize that.
Right. And so I think the djinn is more powerful than she's expecting because of that.
Right.
But in his desperation, we don't know, but Geralt wishes something.
Yeah, he makes a wish.
And it lets the djinn go, but it saves Yennefer's life.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they don't say the wish out loud is ominous.
It lets you know that it probably wasn't something that should have been wished for in some way or fashion.
Or at least it's going to have consequences down the road.
Or it was ambiguous, and so the djinn's done, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, we'll find out. But so they end up getting it on.
Yep.
And he gets some sleep finally. And so that's the last we see of them. But Ciri is in the woods, and they found out who she is.
Yeah.
The
Dryads.
The Dryads. And they offer to let her stay. But here comes Mousak.
Who we think is, we know is not Mousak.
Who we know is not Mousak.
But she doesn't.
Yeah. And comes and says, "Oh, I'll take you. I'm here to take you to Geralt."
Right.
And so she goes away with him, and that's the last we've seen of her so far.
Yep.
And that's kind of where this all ends.
Yep. So there's a big cliffhanger. We'll get some more information there, but we did get to see two of the major characters finally come together.
Yep.
And Ciri get out of those damn woods.
Yeah.
Because as interesting as the Dryads were, I was like, come on, man. I know Ciri's not just going to drink a magic potion and forget everything and go live as a Dryad and that's the end of her story.
Right.
That'd be boring as hell. So,
yeah.
Let's move it along. And so I was glad to see that arc finalize and get on to them meeting up.
Yeah. So we'll see what's going to happen there.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be anything good at this point.
Yeah. So this was a great episode, mainly because of the djinn storyline, and I'm a big fan of any of the monster, the kind of one-shot monster stories.
Right.
And so that was wonderful. The convergence of different storylines coming together finally and creating one through line that seems like it's kind of headed towards one final end is good to see. But other than that, I felt like this was kind of a teeing up episode.
Yeah.
This set a lot of things up for the future.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the wind up.
Exactly.
It's the wind up before the pitch.
Yeah. Well, the pitch is going to be the next 3 episodes that we do where things will finalize for the season. So I think that about wraps it up for episode 5. Was there anything else you wanted to cover, Daniel?
Nope, I think that covers it for me.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And if you enjoyed what you heard, please like and subscribe and join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?